Hi, I'm Abby, and I'm giving an informative speech over childhood obesity. Childhood obesity is a growing epidemic in the United States. It's something that it's increasing more in the 21st century than any other. In the 1980s, about 7% of children were obese, and now since 2012, that percentage has gone up to 18%. Some points that I'm going to go over are that kids are overweight today due to a lack of knowledge over nutrition. Kids aren't getting enough exercise and physical education, and also parents are not as informed over food and like what they're giving their children. So for the first point over children getting knowledge over food and nutrition and things like that is James Oliver. He gave a TED Talk over food, and he's from the UK, which is different over here, and kids are more knowledgeable over what they're eating. And he went to a first grade classroom in West Virginia, and he asked a group of children the difference between, he asked the kids what an onion was. And he said, does anyone know what this vegetable is? Just asking them what it is to name it. And one little boy raised his hand and he said, that's a potato. And he said, now is everybody else in the classroom agreeing that this is a potato? And they all said, yes, yes, this is a potato. So the problem really is that kids aren't knowledgeable over exactly what they're eating and the difference between fruits and vegetables. And his goal is to give kids more knowledge, and he goes around the United States and goes to classrooms for about 6 weeks and gives kids knowledge over nutrition. Also, these kids, they also have increasing health risks. About 70% of obese youth have at least one risk of a cardiovascular disease. So it's more likely for younger children to have heart attacks now. Also, these obese adolescents are more likely to have pre-diabetes, a condition in which blood glucose levels indicate a high risk for development of diabetes. So younger children today are developing diabetes, which is a health concern for doctors, is that they're used to treating people in their 50s and 60s for diabetes, and instead they're trying to figure out what to do with a 14 and 15-year-old and how to do their medication and insulin levels, and so it's just harder to deal with kids that are younger. Also, there's a video called Fed Up. It's a documentary. They discuss over 3 children who are also overweight and their different challenges that they faced. And one little girl, she was told to do Weight Watchers. So even doctors, they don't know what to do with children this young, because it's not like you can tell them, let's do lap band surgery over someone older, because it's just not healthy. So she was told to do Weight Watchers and just try to maintain her diet instead of giving her more knowledge over other things she can do. So doctors also, they need to teach these young kids over nutrition and exactly what they're eating. The second point is over physical education and just telling kids they need to go out. Let's Play is a good organization that tells kids to go outside, but really that's not enough. 49 states require PE, but that doesn't mean that they enforce PE classes. So if most schools, what they do is if classroom time, they don't get enough classroom time that day, they skip their PE. So instead of kids going out and walking around outside for that day or recess, they have to sit in the classroom and catch back up over a lesson that they didn't get. So these kids are stuck in the classroom, and most parents also say PE is ruining classroom time and kids aren't getting what they're supposed to, but the United States, the UK, Australia, they all perform studies over the kids that are more active and then their academic success, and there's a positive correlation in both their studies that they found that the more a kid is outside and the more active they are, the better students that they are. And this could be due just to that they're releasing all that energy and that maybe they can just pay attention in class longer. Another thing is also parents, because these are the main people that feed kids when they go home. These are people that teach them. They're food role models. These are the people that tell them what to eat. About 40% of family food money are now spent on food away from the home, so less people are eating at home. That's also a problem. Most people think they go out to a restaurant, it's different than getting fast food, but a hamburger at McDonald's is still a hamburger and french fries if you go eat it at a nice sit-down restaurant. It's still not good for your kids. And that could also be leading towards why kids today are not sure about fruits and vegetables, because when they see french fries, they don't understand that those french fries are just potatoes cut up and deep fried. They just see their french fries on their plate. So parents are their food role models, and they need to step up and tell their kids that they need to be able to eat differently. Also, there's a correlation between parents that breastfeed their children and how they're going to be obese. If it's less likely for kids that are breastfed to be obese later on. So there's just little things that parents can do early on in their life to prevent for them to have health risks. Just like children today, do they just need to have more like nutritional value? They need to know what they're consuming in their bodies. They need to understand that like sugar is just not good for you, and even though you do like that Coke, like it's just addicting, and Coke products especially, like they try to hook children early on. There needs to be more importance on physical activity and kids going outside and playing less video games, and parents need to have more knowledge over what they're feeding their children because they're the ones that teach them exactly what they're putting into